Isn't that a wonderful choice that we have the option to just be with and to be a part of? And so to the celebration, Grand Rising, and welcome to the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you for joining us here in person via Zoom, and to those who will be viewing our celebration on demand via Facebook and our YouTube channel. We're continuing our series for the month of March. That's how we've never done it. And our topic for today, March 17th, is Tell Me Something Good. And I keep going to the popular song by Chaka Khan of that title, Tell Me Something Good. And I looked at the lyrics because I thought about using it for Sunday service, but the lyrics didn't really fit with the theme and the direction that I was feeling for today. We're also continuing the recognition and celebration of Women's History Month during March. And I have a story to share this morning that reflects something that I didn't know about a significant contribution of someone unlikely to have made this discovery in my own mind. So it was my own awareness that was elevated. Often called the most beautiful woman in film, Heidi Lamar was more than what met the eye. While Lamar's screen presence made her one of the most popular actresses of her day, she was also an inventor and had a sharp mind. Along with avant-garde composer George Antheil, Lamar developed a new method of frequency hopping, a technique for disguising radio transmissions by making the signal jump between channels in a prearranged pattern. Their secret communication system was created to combat the Nazis during World War II. However, there's always a catch in here. The United States Navy ignored their findings. Can I give you one clue as to why they may have ignored her findings? You got it. She was a woman. It wasn't until years later, after other inventors realized their groundbreaking work, Lamar's communication system was a precursor to wireless technologies, including Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, things that we can't live without today. If you have a cell phone and you're traveling and you lose that signal, it's like, what am I going to do? Especially like for me, if I'm using a map. So today we're looking at Tell Me Something Good. In their book, 365 Days of Richer Living, Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker wrote this: ideas are coming to me at every instant, and they offer me a great portion of life that I now have. I accept them and increase my good. And so this week, we're looking at the idea of releasing the need to figure it out and inviting our inner guidance to lead us into a new territory. It takes a conscious commitment to erase and replace old patterns of speech like, it'll never work, but we've tried that before, and to stretch into a new script, such as, what if? But let's consider the possibility. And as we do so, new lightness of energy and new willingness to be happily surprised emerge. We're gifted with an amazing intellectual tool for rational problem solving. We become so reliant on and fascinated with our intellects that we are so proud of, and we become proud of this ability to figure things out. And sometimes we can be thrown for a loop when we're confronted by a situation that we can't figure out. The intellect in this case just does not work. And this is where we remember to surrender to that deeper intelligence that is within us, offering up the perfect answer. And we say, I don't know, but Spirit does. So we surrender Ernest Holmes wrote this in this thing called You. Divine guidance is ours for the asking. The answer to any problem which can ever confront us already exists at the center of our being. Our birthright, our creative power, and the possibility are only limited by the size of the mold that we offer to its expression. In our, I believe it may be in our foundations classwork, that we are introduced to this idea of mental molds. And it took me a while to grasp this concept. And I think it was finally when I was in practitioner training that I finally got what a mental mold is. And a mental mold is merely the size of the container that our awareness fits into. And to expand our awareness, we expand our consciousness. And as we expand our consciousness, the mental mold that we have expands. Some of you may be familiar with another story that illustrates that. And this is of the fisherman that was catching these humongous fish. You know, really the envy of the other fishermen that were out there on the pier that were casting their poles out. And so he would catch this fish, and he would size it up, he would look at it, and he would toss it back. And so this went on for a while, and one of the other fishermen came over and said, you know, I can't help but notice you're catching these really big fish. You know, you're kind of like the envy of the rest of us out here, but you keep throwing them back. Do you mind telling me why you're throwing them back? And so he looked at the young man and he said, well, when I look at the size of the fish, I also have to think about the frying pan that I have. And these larger fish don't fit into my frying pan. And so the response to them was, perhaps you should consider getting a bigger frying pan. And so that's how it is. That was how I began to relate to this idea of expanding mental molds, as I expanded my awareness of the concept that I am one with God and God is unlimited. Therefore, I have these unlimited resources within me. This is when I began to recognize that my birthright and my creative power was only limited by the size of the expression in the container that I placed it in. We're grateful for our ego intellect's problem solving and celebrate our inner gift of a deeper kind of knowing. Now, this deeper knowing is available to us when we trust and allow its guidance. It's what is often known as the still small voice. And it's the still small voice within that whispers, we are more than we think we are. And this more is not just an outpicturing of some random coincidence in our outer experience. We each are a vehicle for spirit to experience and express itself in and as and through us. And so by turning within to this divine intelligence, we're guided into the thoughts, the words, the actions that secure the fulfillment of good for our lives, for our communities, and for our world. It's been reported that many of the world's greatest scientists and inventors have sought this access to this direct inner knowing. And they often report that breakthroughs and ideas are revealed in dreams or in semi-waking states of consciousness. So it's that openness to wherever spirit is expressing, wherever it has our attention, this is where we focus. And so the willingness to relax, to release, and to allow the gift to be given, along with the time that we spend doing our spiritual practices of affirmations, meditation, and spiritual mind treatment, all of these bring us closer to communion with our own inner wisdom. A story of how imagination and focusing on our inner wisdom works. Bill Russell, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was picked as a member of a California All-Star team that toured the Pacific Northwest for a month. After a week into the tour, Bill says, something happened that opened my eyes and chilled my spine. I was sitting on the bench watching every move that was made by two of the star players on the team. Then I shut my eyes and visualized the play, replaying it in my own imagination with myself making those same moves. When it was my turn to go into the game, I made the play as if it had become my teammates, as if I had become my teammates, like stepping into a film and following the signs. So sometimes the still small voice is so gentle that we might miss his signals if we're not paying attention. Other times, the still small voice shouts and gives us what I call a whack upside the head. You know, the gentleness may be a book opening up to the perfect quote that you were looking for. Or in my case, knowing where a book is on my bookcase. And God forbid if I've moved it. But it's those types of things that work in my life where, you know, just an idea says, go here, go look at this, go look at that. And then there are other times when, you know, this whack upside the head. For an example, you're contemplating moving to a new location, but you're not sure about that location. You've done some research, but you're still not sure. And all of a sudden you're stopped in traffic and you look up and here's a big banner on the back of the bus that's describing the location that you've been considering. That's what I call a whack upside the head. The one mind arranges these synchronicities, creating spaces within our unconscious, our conscious, our intuition, and our intellectual to communicate via these seemingly outer circumstances. These moments are good reminders that the veil between us is thinner than we think. We learn to appreciate the little, sometimes silly nudges, and as much as we do the big 2x4s, we appreciate the little, sometimes silly nudges as much as we appreciate the big 2x4s. And sometimes these are referred to as God winks. You know, they may tickle us. We may be amused at, oh, this is why I was directed to go in this way. Or, oh, look at how this is showing up. And it's like, you know, we say, or I often say, make a plan and watch God laugh. It's like, okay, this is not going the direction that I thought it was going, but let's just flow in the direction that it's going and see what the end result is going to be. Albert Einstein refers to these little serendipitous moments or these God winks as the simple solution that God is answering. When the solution is simple, God is answering. Something good emerges through surprises. You may have said or have heard someone else say, I don't like surprises. I used to say that at one point. Now I've become accustomed to really appreciating surprises. Sometimes when we say, I don't like a surprise, it's a control thing. And it's a control thing that is often for our good because it emerges out of that safety area of the ego. The ego is really designed to protect us. And so when we're moving into an unfamiliar territory, we get these little flags or these little caution markers. This is our opportunity to transcend that old experience of it'll never work or I've always done it that way. And to be willing to be surprised at how this new expression of spirit is going to materialize in our lives. And as we tune into divine intelligence's unlimited creativity, it becomes easier to trust its activity in us and for us and as us. The universe gives us more positive feedback, assuring us that we're plugged in to our source. We recognize that we are beloved and a necessary part of the whole. We are the beloved and a necessary part of the whole. we listen and know in our hearts that we are listened to. We listen to clarify the what and let Spirit handle the how. So the question we ask is, what is my next step? And we may have a picture of the destination in mind. We may have an idea of the goal that we're headed for. But we ask, what is my next step? And we surrender to this indwelling intelligence within us that figures out the how. When we let go of the how, when I let go of the how, something is going to work. And to say, this is what I want, this is what I desire in my life. Let it go and watch, listen to those small whispers, those little God winks that directs me to go in this direction. This is how we relax into our expectations and we live in expectancy. And so I kind of wrapping this up this morning, figuring it out applies our intellectual reasoning process to inform us that we've stored figuring it out applies to our intellect's process and reasoning of the information that we have stored from past experiences and the stories that we've constructed out of those experiences. As such, it is a valuable tool, however, it has limitations. Figuring it out is relying on the ego, relying on the intellect, and it has its limitations. Let us thank our intellect for the hard work that it does for us and invite it to loosen its control of our decisions and to open ourselves to a greater field of loving and unlimited intelligence. And I remember when I first came into the teachings of Science of Mind and was learning the process of meditation, our teacher said, what is important to get you into the meditative experience is to make friends with the ego and to make friends with the mind because it wants to protect. You know, this is something new you're introducing into your life. And the ego and the mind, the surface mind, is saying, whoa, I don't understand this. You know, what's going on here? What's going on here? And so the offering was to make friends with the intellect, make friends with the ego, make friends with the surface mind and say, this is okay. This is something new that we're going to be doing. And to begin to develop that level of comfort with the intellect and the ego and this process, this new process of meditation, was to meditate at the same time in the same place. And if we were using music or something as an external support to help bring us into that process of meditation, to use that. And then get comfortable with that. And then it can expand from there. Because now, you know, when I go in, I don't even say I'm going into meditation, it's just something that I do. And my whole body just responds into a place of relaxation. And so this is just another example of how we can make friends with the ego. It is there to support us and it is there to help us. In core concept 1 of the Science of Mind Foundation curriculum, this is part of that appendix. We can learn to partner with our ego intellect, with our soul's intuition. We can promise to keep paying attention and to dive into an ever deeper knowing of the truth of who we are and the truth of our oneness connected with the whole. And so this is our ultimate goal. And this is where Tell Me Something Good continues to emerge, is when we recognize that we are a part of that which is connected with the whole. That there is no distinction between us and the whole. Divine intelligence reveals itself because it is us. And it says, yes, much more, that we are much more than this. And so loving ourselves invites us into the experience of creation, knowing that creation is ever unfolding and is not absorbed by itself. And as we continually invite divine wisdom and guidance into our awareness, new ideas, new directions, and possibilities are revealed. And Ralph Waldo Emerson offers this: to laugh often and much, to win the respect of the intelligent people and the affection of children, to learn the appreciation of honest critics, and to endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden path, or a redeemed social condition, to know that one life has been breathed easily because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. We leave the world a better place because we are here. We bring into the world the innate goodness that is in all of us. We welcome the brand new day by saying, tell me something good. Tell me something good that I can go out and share with the world around me. And I invite us now to say our affirmation together, and we will have that on our screen. Divine intelligence lives in me and guides me in each new day. Let us say that together again. Divine intelligence lives in me and guides me in each new day. I invite us now to just allow our entire being to relax into the chairs that we're sitting on, or if you're riding in a car, wherever you are, just relax into this eternal moment of now. As we turn within, and I offer the spiritual mind treatment. What I know to be the truth is that there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is whole. It is perfect. It is complete. And that life is my life now. And as this is true for me, I know that it is true for all people in all places, everywhere on the planet, and places that are known and unknown. This life of this creative intelligence expresses itself in all forms of existence. And so I speak a word of gratitude this morning for this life that is living through me, that is expressing itself as me. Because I know that it is guiding my every step and directing my every thought, word, and action as I surrender my will and I let go of trying to figure out how something is going to work. And I just let it be and ask the Spirit, what is my next step? So in asking what is that next step, I open my heart, I open my mind, I open my being to the inner guidance, to that still small voice that whispers, go this way, go this way, go this way. And as I know this to be the truth for myself, I embrace it, I affirm it, and I accept it for the truth for all beings. That innate guide, that inner knowingness, that still small voice that whispers, this is the way, go ye in it. And I'm knowing that as I travel this path, as I travel into this continual journey of awakening, that creation is always unfolding and expressing as a higher vibration, as a higher ideal for me. And this is true for everyone that is expressing as the life of God. I speak my word this morning for divine right and perfect action in the lives of everyone, knowing that all needs, all requirements are met in time, on time, and at the right time. Knowing that wherever I am, wherever we are, is the right and perfect place. It's a place that we are to be in this very moment. And I can recognize that in this very moment, right here, right now, everything that I need is provided. And so I don't have to worry about what is coming next, because I know that provision provided here is provision that is provided everywhere. I speak my word this morning for individuals that are experiencing what are sometimes called life challenges. It may be the transition of a loved one. It may be the transition from one place of employment to another. It may be the transition from one place of shelter into another. It may be whatever is going on that is causing what appears to be a disrupt in the normalcy of life. And I am encouraged to say in my own life, only good can come from this. Only good can come from this. And as we breathe in that idea together that only good can come from this, this is what sustains, supports, and guides the path, guides us along our way. I speak a word of blessing for communities where people are gathering in the name and nature of the one life, the one wholeness, the one truth that has meaning in their life, knowing that each place where the truth is known and is followed by that community or that individual or that group of individuals, that there may be an opportunity for our paths to intersect. And it is at those points of intersection where we can express love, where we can express joy, where we can express gratitude for another life that we have encountered and connected with on this journey. And so for this and so much more, I am grateful. Releasing this word into that law which always says yes, I just allow it to be so. And if any of what I've said resonates with you in any way, please affirm it with me by saying, and so it is. And so it is. Just a reminder that we have a prayer request and a prayer chest on our prayer table here in the center. We invite you to fill out a prayer request and let go of any seeming obstacles that are in your life. And also, you can use the prayer request to celebrate those opportunities, to celebrate the good that has occurred in your life. And if you would like to meet with a practitioner, our contact information is on our website. It is in our newsletter. And we also partner with our Centers for Spiritual Living World Ministry of Prayer that offers prayer support online. And I believe they now have a telephone system where you can call into the World Ministry of Prayer. That information is in our newsletter and on our website. And we also partner with Silent Unity, their 24-hour prayer line. So those resources are available to you, and we invite you to use them to just continue to enhance this experience of something good. Tell me something good that is happening in my life. Tell me something good that inspires me to move through this day. And now it is time for our sharing of our good, our sharing of our abundance, our participation in the circulation and the flow of the donations and the tithes that are given to the center to support the work and the outreach that we're doing in the local community. We have an affirmation of abundance that I invite us to now say together. I recognize the presence of God within as a source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And so on our screen, for those of you who are viewing either on demand or via Zoom, you may mail in your donations to our physical location, 400 West Franklin Street, Monterey, California, 93940. You may also text to give, and that text number is 831-246-9694. And you may also donate through our website, montereycsl.org. And I, along with our board, thank you for your continual support and not only your financial support, which is a key factor in a donation-based operation, but also for your volunteer support. We have a number of volunteers that show up during the week, silently and quietly, unseen. Some choose to remain unseen, and we honor that. But I am grateful for every volunteer that shows up. And I want to do a shout out to Amy Megan this morning for continuing to provide these beautiful calla lilies that are in bloom for our regular Sunday service and the smaller ones that we have on our hospitality tables. And for those of you who are here in the center, you may drop your donation in the donation box that we have on the little center hospitality table. And I would just like to offer a few reminders for our community, our family that is watching us on demand. We're still continuing the Season for Nonviolence, which goes until April the 4th, I believe that it is. And yes, April 4th, thank you. And we invite you to go to the website, 64 Days in 64 Ways, to see the daily affirmations and make those a part of your daily spiritual practice. We're continuing to celebrate Women's History Month during the month of March. We honor our friends and family who practice Islam in the celebration of Ramadan for the month of April. And also on the 19th, I believe it's the 19th, is the spring equinox. And the equinox is a time where the days, the daylight and the darkness are equal. And so it's a time of celebration. It's a time to recognize new birth and new beginnings. And so to our on-demand community, we say thank you for joining us wherever you are watching this from and at whatever time you're watching it. And we invite you to like, to share, and to comment, and to tune in next week where we will continue our theme for the month of March. That's how we've never done it. And our topic is New Now, What's Next? We love you, we appreciate you, and we thank God for you.